Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. And today, I'll be reading Katsuki's Reader by Dammit Logan on Tumblr. So let's get into it. You anxiously tap your fingers on the table as you review the notes that you'd taken earlier that week. Most of them were mere scribbles, but at least they were legible enough for you to grasp the concept that's you. This test was going to be killer, and you wonder how you could possibly return all the information by tomorrow. You have, wrapping your temples and closing your eyes for a moment. All the swearing and sitting is going to give you a headache. Placing your chin in your palm, you give your brain a break and survey their library. Oi, pay attention or you're going to fail tomorrow. Katsuki, your steady partner, yells. You frown at him but a finger to your lips. Well, stop yelling or you're going to get us kicked out again. You whisper harshly. He glares at you for a moment before going back to work, mumbling something under his breath, with a roll of your eyes. You continue to glance around the room. It is pretty empty. You and Katsuki in the back corner. The place in the librarian was expected to hear him screaming. Not that it worked, most of the time. Gradually, your gaze fell to Katsuki. You blink once, twice, and your heart skips a beat as your cheeks flush a pink hue. Your mouth falls open as you, quite openly, ogle at him. He isn't angry or glaring or screaming. He's calm. His cheek leans into his palm as he twirls a pencil in his other hand. His features are as relaxed as you've ever seen them. There's something stunning about his change in demeanor. Something different. Something cute. It wasn't like the little question Katsuki was anything new. Pretty long-running, actually. To the point where it was kind of sad if you thought about it. Not that you thought about it all that much, though. You never lost sleep over thoughts about him. Or most important notes because you were staring at him. But kind of a pretty nasty punch because you lost yourself in his eyes in the middle of a spar. You could hardly even call it a crush. Yeah, right. What are you staring at? You nearly jump out of your skin at the question. How long had you been staring? You can feel your cheeks turning in color as he glares at you quizzically. Damn it. You think. You ruined it. You have a laugh, pointedly going back to your notes. I have no idea what you're talking about. Huh? Bullshit. He rises from his seat, hands slapping on the table. Don't lie to me. You grab his arm and then yank him back to his seat. Stop yelling, Katsuki. You heard as quietly as possible. You glance behind, luckily not seeing an angry librarian rushing over. He plops down into his seat, scowling at you silently over crossed arms. Why were you staring at me? He growls, quieter this time. I wasn't. I was just lost in thought. You're a shitty liar. You swiftly kick him under the table. Will you shut up? What happened to you wanting me to study? You pluck your notebook from the desk and swiftly bury your face in it. You really try to read the notes, but you're so flustered that it all becomes a giant mess of letters. Katsuki pulls the notebook back to the table. Do you need anything? His glare hardens. Smoke began to pour out of his hands. Why won't you just tell me? He grumbles dangerously. You roll your eyes. Obviously, you weren't going to get anything done. Leaning back in your seat with crossed arms, you raise a brow at him. You really want to know? Fine. I was thinking about how pretty you looked when you were out screaming for a change. You bite. You scrub on your notebook from loose ends, and you realize it isn't steaming anymore. You put your notebook away and go back to studying as you try to fight the blush in your face. You couldn't believe you really just said that. After a moment, you gain the courage to glance at him. He was being uncharacteristically silent. He was barely stunned, yet finally fallen back into his seat, eyes wide and filled with unfamiliar emotions. What stood out the most, though, was the scar blistering across his cheeks, your eyebrows creased in concern. Did you break him? Are you okay? Shut up. All right then. You clear your throat and go back to work. However, you keep finding yourself looking back at Katsuki, and hardly moved an inch. Staring blankly at this textbook, you look around helplessly. You did break him. All you tried to think of a way to fix his short circuit. All Katsu could think of was how you called him pretty. He had never been called pretty before. Handsome, yes. Good looking, sure. But pretty? He had always imagined that term was specifically designed for girls. Girls like you. A part of him believes he should feel insulted being called such a delicate word. But for some reason, the fact that it came for you left butterflies in his stomach. Do you know how to— I think you're pretty too, he mumbled suddenly, and you were left blinking once again. With how quiet he was combined with how quick he said it, it wasn't only surprising, but completely out of character. He refused to look at you, but you were able to see the red of his ears. You were slightly scared to ask him to repeat himself, but you found curiosity beating your common sense. What did you say? I said you're really shitty, he yells, finally looking at you. It's almost comical, you'd think. How angry he turns to look, completely overwhelmed by how flustered he was. It was a miracle that the librarian wasn't bursting at yell at him. You have to bite back a laugh, knowing full well it wasn't what he said. Maybe you could have fun with this. Oh, okay. Whatever you say, cutie pie. Katsuki nearly edges at the pet name. Who the hell said shit like that? It was disgusting, and the worst part was that he found himself almost liking it. What did you just call me? You look up at him instantly, biting away a smirk. Cutie pie? You tease. Sorry, would you prefer something else? Like sweetie? Or maybe pumpkin? Oh, how about sweet cheeks? Katsuki pushes more and more through the list of nicknames. You find yourself unable to hide your regret. I'm leaving. Your eyes widen at the statement as he begins to pack his stuff up. Wait. Katsuki-chan, don't leave. You still have to teach me how to do basic math. In a flurry, you shove your supplies into your bag as well. You rush after him as he stomps away. You playfully grab his upper arm like you've seen couples do as they walk together. He grumbles but doesn't pull away. You take this as an opportunity to ramble away as many embarrassing nicknames as you possibly could. Where are you going, babe? Are we going to go grab some dinner? I'm feeling a little hungry. Abruptly, Katsuki rips his arm away from you. You cringe. Maybe you had taken it a little too far. Reluctantly, you admit yourself that you should apologize before he blows up. If I kiss you, will you shut up? What? Suddenly, his lips are on yours. His lips are chapped and warm from the blush on his cheeks. The kiss is a little rough, teeth clinking together for a moment, but his callous grip on your arm is the gentlest you've ever been touched. He's closer than you'd ever thought he would be. Your eyes are wide. You can see how his brows furrow in concentration and embarrassment. You hardly have the chance to kiss him back before he pulls away. He doesn't let you process the kiss to relish in the moment, but rather drags you down the road. He makes sure he's a step or two ahead of you, while still allowing you to keep up so you can see his blush. But he's unaware of the deep crimson of your own. You clear your throat, trying to shake yourself out of the flustered hazy ran. You quicken your pace side to side. He seems to have calmed down a bit because he loves us, but still refuses to look at you. He maintains a focused gaze on the road ahead, destination seemingly in mind, the opposite direction of the arms. Where are we going? He glances at you out of the corner of his eye, before quickly looking away. Not that he would ever tell you, but you were going to be the death of him. I thought you said you were hungry. And that marked your first date.